All right, this video explains number 85 from the homework. If you are looking at this, the question and what you are trying to do is find f of 2 plus h minus f of 2 all over h for this particular function of x squared minus x plus 1. What you have to do in this problem is rewrite this big difference quotient. And what you have to do is plug in whatever is inside these parentheses in for the x's, here and here. And then what you have to do is rewrite it in this big, huge fraction. So I'm going to use some different colors here to help you. The very first thing that I'm going to do is rewrite f of 2 plus h. So when I'm going to write f of 2 plus h, I'm going to write it kind of like in this section of this big fraction bar. So if you just isolate this problem, the 2 plus h needs to replace this x and this x. So it should be written as 2 plus h squared minus 2 plus h plus 1. So I just took the 2 plus h and substituted it into this function, but notice I wrote it in the front part of this big fraction. Then I have a minus sign. And what's going to happen after that minus sign, right here in this section, is going to be f of 2. So what I need to do with this 2 is put it in the same place where those x's are. So anytime after the subtraction, it's really important that you put this whole piece in parentheses. So it's 2 squared. You can put extra parentheses if you want there, if you think it's good, minus 2 plus 1. Now all of those are numbers, so I can kind of just figure that out, which I will do in a second. Now if you take a look at the denominator, is just a plain old h. So just to recap, this section is f of 2 plus h. This section is f of 2. And then the bottom is just h. Now from here, all I have to do is kind of simplify. I'm going to scroll up here. So once I simplify this, I start with my 2 plus h squared is 2 plus h times 2 plus h, which I will do in a minute. I'm going to distribute this negative through. I am going to subtract. I'm actually just going to kind of do this in my head. 2 squared is 4, minus 2 is 2, plus 1 is 3. So that ends up being a 3, and that ends up being an h. I'm going to keep going in my next row. So this is going to be an h, this is going to be a minus 3. I'm going to keep working with the green. I need to FOIL this or distribute this. So 2 times 2 is 4, 2 times h is 2h, h times 2 is 2h, and h times h is h squared minus 2 minus h plus 1. What I'm going to do next is just combine my like terms. So whenever you combine your like terms, you kind of just look for things that are common. I usually put them in correct order. So I see that my h squared is my highest power of h, and there are no other ones like that. Then I have 2h plus 2h minus h. So that's 2 plus 2 is 4 minus 1. This is going to be a 3h. And then here I have 4 minus 2, which is 2, plus 1 is 3, minus 3 is 0. So I don't even need to write it down here as plus 0 because it's already gone. And look, my huge fraction bar, I didn't even need it. It became way smaller. So I'm going to kind of fix it. That all is just over h. Once you get to here, you factor the h out of the numerator, because you know these are glued together, and the only way to start simplifying this is to cancel. And then divide by h, and these h's should cancel out, and you're left with h plus 3. That's how you do it.